Lab number 217. In this lab, we continue development of our mobile application for electricity consumption checking. And basically right now we will focus on application logic, and basically we will perform the actions with tasks. So when we will click inside the available tasks on the specific task, we will take that task, so it should appear in our My Tasks list. If we will click on that task, we should see the details, and of course we should be able then to finish the task, and basically that's what we will start to do in this lab. So right now let's start working on our available tasks. And first of all, of course, we will need those tasks to be placed somewhere. So for that we will use the service. So we have prepared demo scenario from our Ionic templates. We will modify it. So instead of factory, we will actually create a service. Let's call it something like demo tasks service, just like this, and it will be service. So we won't have these chats here, we don't need them. Instead of chats, we need to grab the tasks, and we can do it from our host machine. So let's open our folder lab 217 files and grab the content of our task.js. So just everything that is there, and pass it here inside our service, just like this. So those will be our tasks. Here we will have some default prepared structure. So we have an account number, we have the old value of our consumption meter, then we have actually the name, so it's like name and surname of the person whom we are going to, then city or village, whatever, but it's a variable called city, of course full address, and then latitude and longitude. And basically we will need to operate with those tasks using some default functions. So we will try to reuse existing ones here. So we have all, like demotasks service.all will return everything, but not from chats, but from tasks. So remove, we'll need to remove actually the item from a list of tasks. So let's change it to tasks and chat to task. Just like this. And then get will actually need to return the specific task. So as an input we will have actually not the ID but account. So something like task account. And of course we need to change chats to tasks. And instead of ID here, it will be account. And actually account number in our case is text, so we don't need this parse as integer, so we just can use this as text. So basically just like this. So this service should return for us the list of tasks. We should be able to remove one of the tasks if it will be taken. And of course we should be able to grab the specific information about specific task. So let's try to work with this service in our all tasks page. I will close everything else because we have too many windows opened. So just all tasks. So what do we have here? Here we actually specify our list of tasks that are available, and instead of doing that manually, we will implement something like ngRepeat. So let's do it here. something like task and tasks. And then of course we need to change this construction to our task city, then basically task account, and let's do a hash also here, task count. We of course need an address, so it will be task address here, and basically that's all for now. So we just need to preview how it's working, but before we will be able to launch this, of course we will need to grab those tasks. So we'll do it in our controller. So controller called alltasks controller. So here we will grab our tasks and we will take them from our demo task service all, and of course we will need to add this service as a dependency. So just like this. Let's check what we have. So basically inside our app in available tasks list we should have our service launched, but we also need to launch live reload, otherwise it won't work, of course. Yep, so it's not working. Let's check what is wrong. Demotask service provider is not found. Let's check how I named it services. Yep, the correct name is demotasks service. So let's rename this to demotasks. Yeah, and now we have our list of 3 tasks, so it's already working. Excellent. We can also add a normal calculation of total tasks, and instead of just this number, so we can calculate tasks length, just like this. It's also 3, so the result will be the same, but anyway, now it's working in real, not just with text. So next step for us will be to display some kind of markers on the map for those tasks, and for that we will go to our browser and we'll check for documentation for Angular Google Maps that we used to create our map. So we will need to look for documentation regarding markers, and here it is. So basically we need to specify a marker like this, and it should be inside our map. So there should be some kind of options, events, ID key. Probably those 2 are not that necessary, but we'll see. Yep, and the main thing here is the coordinates called chords, and this should be an expression. So let's check the example. Yeah, so this is how they are setting the chords, just latitude and longitude. So we can do that also. So basically, let's go back and pass our code inside our map to create a marker, just like this. We will need to create several markers, so we will do an gRepeat here also for the same tasks in task. Task and tasks, sorry. Just like this. Now instead of this marker chords, we will need to provide the coordinates. So this should be an expression, so it will look like this. So we have latitude, and it should be a value of our task lat, and then we also will have longitude, and this should be and this should be actually our task lng, just like this. So we also will need to have some kind of ID key, and probably we don't need any options for now, so let's just remove them. We don't need any events for now. Also, we can also remove them. So ID key will be something like our task account, maybe. Just like this, and let's check what we have at the end. So it should be somewhere in Poland. Yep, so we have our markers here, 3 of them, with 3 cities near Warsaw. So we need to center our map somehow, like on Warsaw, for example. So for that, let's open just Google Maps. And pick up the place where we will center our map. So let it be just Warsaw, somewhere here, for example. And here we have the coordinates that we will use for centering. So we'll take them and we'll pass them here in our controller instead of those one. So let's check how it looks now. Yep, so we have our map centered on Warsaw, and we perfectly see our 3 markers. So next step will be probably to disable this thing, this possibility to change map style to satellite, and those buttons are also almost not clickable on mobile device. They are too small, so let's disable them also. And for that we will use options, map options. So we'll need to go back to our map documentation and check available map options. So we don't need map type control, and we don't need zoom control. So let's specify them as an options right here. So zoom control will be false, and the same for map type control will be set to false. Just like this. And of course this should be passed as an options, so let's use options construction here, just like this, and pass it inside, just like this, options. And we will also need to specify that map options can be found inside our object. So we will do it like map options, just like this. Let's check what we have. Yeah, so basically we disabled everything that was not required. I think this live street preview can be left as is because it's quite interesting, and we can actually show the particular place where we need to check electricity consumption, so the person can find it, which seems to be really great. So we will leave it as is. And next thing that we will do, we will focus on our markers. So instead of just those dots, we need to provide the numbers. And actually those numbers shouldn't be just 111. Of course, we will need to have some kind of index here. So let's just type index here instead of 1, just like this. Yep, but most probably we shouldn't start from the 0. It won't be so perfect for a user. So let's start from 1. So this is the list of numbers, and we should respectively give the markers with those IDs and show them on a map. So basically what we will need to do, we will need to implement actually the markers labels here. But instead of typing label as text, we will be doing a more clever thing. We will actually use an icon as a marker together with a label. So we'll have an icon with some kind of number, and we will take them from a website. There is a really good website called mapicons.mapsmaker.com. Sorry, maps marker. Yeah, this one. And actually here we can select numbers category and pick some kind of numbers for us. So as you can see, it will actually show the icon together with a number. And let's pick up just white and download the package. I will unzip everything that we have here from from 0 to 100, and most probably we won't have more to our project. So it will be dev workspaces, ECC MFP apps, ECC common images, and then let's create a folder, something like map icons, and instruct everything here. So now we should be able to see those inside our images folder. Yep, they are here. And now we can actually set up the icon for our marker. And we will do it inside options. So we'll just create options for our marker, and let's just specify the icon there. So it should be like this. Options should be an expression. So we will have something like icon, and then the URL, in our case it will be images, map icons, and then we will have number underscore the number itself .png. So let's just try the hard code, number 1 or 2 .png, something like this. Yeah, of course it should be dot instead of this slash. Yep, and we see in our markers here, so excellent. But instead of this hard-coded tool, we will need to construct something. So let's do the following. Let's implement some kind of small part of logic here. So we will have two parts. So the first one will be pass, and the second one will be extension. And in the middle, we will use our index. Yep, it's working. And of course, we will also start from 1 instead of 0. So we'll add a plus here, +1. And yep, we have our markers working now. So basically we achieved the following. We have now a list of tasks that is grabbing from our service. We have those numbers in index, and we display the markers on maps. So when we are launching our app and go to all tasks, we are seeing all available tasks on the map with their markers. And basically then we will need to continue to work with my tasks. So we should implement some kind of logic. When we will click on the specific task, we should take this task into work and start working on it in my tasks tab. So we will do that a bit later in our next lab, and on this step our lab number 217 is finished. Thank you.